The Sandman Season 2 is the finale of the Sandman show on Netflix. It's very expensive, but they never planned on doing more seasons. And also there was the allegations with Neil Gaiman, the creator of the original comic books that this is based off of. So that sort of ended any project that had his name attached to it. So like Anansi Boys was coming out, and American Gods, and anything else like that. So it's a shame. The first Sandman season was all right. It definitely played with kids' gloves. And I gotta say the same thing for the second season. There's some glaring things I didn't care for. I did read the comics a really long time ago, but they still didn't get some of the portrayals correct. The main one, the biggest thing is that is bullshit, is No Game of You. A Game of You is Neil Gaiman's favorite arc. It's also probably mine. It tells the story of a young girl who is being attacked in her nightmares. She had this fantasy world to deal with the abuse that she suffered in the real world, and she created this other world, and there was a villain there named the Cuckoo who escapes and starts trying to kill her imaginary friends and get her. So in real life there's a man that attacks her, and then she gets saved by a witch, and then she's got to go into this big adventure basically to stop the Cuckoo. And you know, this season was 11 episodes plus one off for death, but each they did the same thing for the first season. The first season only covered 3 graphic novel volumes in 11 episodes, 12. And then this one does the same. The Season of Mist is 3 episodes, then they do 3 episodes for Brief Lives, and then they just jump forward to the last 3 and skip the 3 for A Game of You, which sucks because it's like the best story of all of them. But they definitely shouldn't have done that. They should have done Season of Mist for the first 3, then Game of You up to episode 6, and then they can have an extra episode in there for something else, and then they can do the 3 episodes to lead up to the kindly ones, and then the Brief Lives. You do Brief Lives after Game of You, then you do 1 more episode to introduce Orpheus, and then that's 11 episodes. Then you end with the death, and then you can do 1 more final season, and like literally like take your time, do 3 or 4 episodes, and then a movie or more death stuff. You know, like there's it just feels really awkward by skipping an entire chunk of the story. Like, why do all the... I mean, obviously there's some volumes you can't do. You can't do Sandman Overture because it's just too grand in scope. But like, why skip A Game of You? That's a really big oversight that I didn't like. Other portrayals, okay. They swap up Despair. She's not like naked and cutting herself all the time. She's just like a frumpy woman. That's fine. Delirium was good. I liked her performance. Same with Destruction. Desire gets a lot more to do this season, but like, it's so campy. Not a good performance. Definitely should have been more Machiavellian and more subdued, because literally every time Desire's on screen, they're like, oh, I'm gonna get you, Dream, or I didn't get you, Dream, like shaking their fists like an old man, and then, you know, Destiny's fine, and of course Death. But yeah, it's glaring that like a lot of the characters are black. You know, they're definitely trying to push up the whole diversity angle. And then, let's see. Oh yeah, Loki is okay, but he's not as malevolent as in the comics. In the comics, he has this really like amazing speech where he like freezes a woman in her car and then tells her who he is in this amazing speech, and then sets her on fire. And then in the show, kind of the same thing, but it's cut down and it's like 10 seconds. And I'm like, come on, man. Loki's so cool in the comics. Why do you gotta like do that? And same with another one, Wanda and Ishtar. They get shoved together in a different story. And you know, Ishtar is just like a stripper, but in the comics she's supposed to be the goddess of like sex and lust, and like when she performs, she's supposed to make everyone climax multiple times at the point of like death. But they don't do that in the series. In this show, she just dances for them, and they just stare. So I felt that was a disservice too. Not a very good one-to-one. The Return of the Corinthian is good. They add something new with Joanna Constantine. I like that. That was okay. That was a fine, because they changed Constantine anyway. But yeah, other than that, yeah, just it's an okay season. Like, I still watched it. Just didn't like the omission of A Game of You. and the Conley ones were not that scary. Too much visual effects budget. I think one of the reasons why they had to cancel this show was because they spent like, I think, was it 18 million per episode? So it was like almost 200 million per season. They could have easily chipped away at the visual effects budget and just focused more on storytelling. Because, for example, the last episode, the death sort of epilogue, really low budget. It's just Death walking around, an expensive club scene maybe, but, you know, it's about the storytelling. You know, I'm not about visuals. You don't need to see the dreaming all the time. It just feels like they definitely should have focused more on just like the characters and the story, because when you boil it down, in Sandman, there's no fight scenes. There's no scenes where like someone pulls out a sword and they start like attacking each other and stuff. It's mostly confrontations of a grand nature because we're following the Endless and they're like large, encompassing forces. But you know, overall, I mean, if this is what we're going to get, this is probably the only live-action Sandman we're going to get for a while. So those are my thoughts on Season 2 of Sandman.